Hey there, everybody. Thomas with Basecamp Trading. It is Thursday, February 27th, and we're going to take a look here at the S&P. And we're going to talk a little bit about the stock market as a whole and what we've seen happen here this past week. The biggest point value sell-off we've ever seen in this short of period of time in the Dow, for example. So one of the things I'm watching, I expect us to get a bounce in the indices here. I'm not saying that the down move as a whole is over. I don't know if that's the case at all. But what I'm watching is I expect a bounce either this afternoon or tomorrow. We're starting to sell off again going into the afternoon as of 1:40 when I'm recording this. But one of the reasons I'm looking for a bounce, and one of the big things I'm paying attention to here, is we had this previous pennant pattern that we broke out of on a weekly basis. This is a weekly S&P or E-mini S&P futures chart. We had this weekly compression we broke out of last year that led to that rally from November all the way up until we got the one green finger a couple weeks ago, and then through the floor we've gone. All right, so this was our last real consolidation zone before this run. All right, and we've pulled right back, and we kind of stopped on a dime there today, right back down and retested the broken trend line. And so far we're hanging out back up above that support, which is from the previous pivot highs up here where we had found resistance at 30.34. So we are in a support zone, basically. We've pulled back enough to go into a support zone. And now one of the things we'll be paying attention to is how we end up closing the day out today. All right. And this will tell us whether or not we expect a bounce tomorrow. So one thing that's important to note, we are very extended on the dailies here, obviously. We've been running through the floor here for a while. But with that being said, we have not broken a previous daily high yet all week long. All right, we've been down now 6 days in a row, depending on where we closed today. And one of the things I'm watching for is whether or not we're going to get a long bottoming tail on the daily. So if we retrace back up and leave a smaller body with a bigger bottoming tail, a bigger wick to the downside, if that happens, I would expect us to bounce tomorrow. And I'd look for a little bit of a retracement, potentially up to around the 3150 area, maybe up to our volume weighted moving average, up around 3160 or so. We'll see where it's at tomorrow. But I wouldn't be surprised to see a bounce. It's also the end of the month tomorrow. Okay, so keep that in mind. You might see some profit taking at the end of the month, which would lead to a bounce. Now, the reason I say that we have potential for this to head lower longer term is if you go out and you look at your long-term price charts, and we look at the monthlies, the monthly price charts here are very bearish with longer topping tails. And again, these come to a close here. The end of the trading month is tomorrow. And one of the things that we're seeing happen is our momentum is shifting to bearish on our histograms, on the monthly histograms. And it's rare for us to have a red monthly histogram and not follow through at least a little bit. So I would expect us to be down again in March. But before we head lower, I'm looking for a bounce. Once we get that bounce, I'll be looking to short once it starts to roll over again, and we'll carry it short with potential targets down around the support, around 2600, 2800, those areas. So that's what I'm watching with the S&P. Just to recap here, paying attention to the retest of broken resistance, now as support on a weekly basis, looking for potential profit taking going into the end of the month. Here's that retest of support. Looking for a profit taking going into the end of the month, and we will see how it ends up playing out by tomorrow. And actually, as we speak, we're selling off even more here. So remember, pay attention to how we close the day out today. But that's what I'm watching, and we will see how everything ends up playing out. But that's it for today, everybody. I will see you all bright and early tomorrow morning in the trading room. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, good luck and happy trading, everybody.